All right, 7.5 is dealing with rational exponents, radicals. Rational means like fractions and decimals, so it's mostly fractions. But again, rational exponent, we understand that an exponent is a small value in the power. Rational exponents have a fraction or decimal in the exponent's place, which I guess I just kind of said. The radical is the symbol here, and it has a direct connection to the fraction and the exponent. So you'll need to understand when it says write with a rational exponent, you should be using a fraction exponent. If the directions say write in radical form, you should be using some sort of radical sign in that problem. So make sure you read the directions, make sure you understand what it wants, and don't forget to give the answer in the proper form. So what does a fractional exponent do to the value? We know that the negative exponents move the value to the opposite section of the fraction. Fractional exponents convert the value into a nth root. This is best understood through work, so let's just get to it real quick. Actually, let me just show it to you real fast. 4 to the 1/2 is the same root as the square root of 4 because there's an invisible 2 there. 8 to the 1/3 is the same as the third root of 8. So again, the third root here is the same thing as the 3 on the bottom. Same answers in both. So that's pretty much what it is. Given a rational exponent, x over d, where n is the numerator and d is the denominator, you want to write this down, especially this coming from this, because you need to know where those numbers go. And use that quick note whenever you're translating. Again, n would go on the top, d would go on the bottom, or n goes on the inside, d goes on the outside. Whatever you have to do, just make sure you understand the transition between these two things. As long as you have that, you at least have a start. Again, this rule is a matter of practice and experience. You must memorize that relationship to be successful in this section. The material in this section, again, is best learned through practice, so it's best learned through examples. Let's just get to it. It's going to say write in radical form. You have to remember from these notes where the top number goes, where the bottom number goes. Remember that your bottom number is your root. So this would be the root, so third root of f to the second. Numerator top, denominator root. This would be the second root of m to the 7th, but you would not write second root because it's just square root of m to the 7th. The second root is invisible. Square root, think about it. This is called x squared. Square root would have an invisible 2. So again, you don't put the 2 on square roots, you just leave it as a regular root. This one here is a little tougher, and it's the toughest one on your homework because you need to distribute first. It's 27 to the 4/3, t to the 4/3. But just check to make sure 27 to the 4/3 can't be done. And yes, you will have to use the online calculator. If you don't know where it's at, email me. I'll be glad to show it to you. And you'll notice 27 to the 4/3 is actually 81. And then let's convert this into it. Again, this is the third root of t to the 4th. Again, distribute the 4/3 first. Convert this into a number if possible. So type it into the calculator and make sure it can't change. And if it doesn't change, put it inside the root. But again, this turns into 81. And then third root of t to the 4th is what the last part is. Rewrite in exponential form. Again, this means there should be an exponent, not a root. Keep in mind this is an invisible 2, so this becomes b to the, that's always the top number, and the invisible outside is your bottom number. This, fourth root of y to the 3rd, you want a power, that's your top number, this is your bottom number. 32 is going to always have a invisible 1, so this turns into 32 to the 1/5, h to the 8/5. And always check to make sure this number can't be reduced. So 32 to the 1/5 is 2, which means it's 2h to the 8/5. Again, don't leave a root or exponent on a number that can be simplified. Anytime you have a number, always type it in to make sure it doesn't simplify down further. Simplify, write in radical form. So here we go. First thing I would do is distribute. Again, just like I said in the last section, distribute these small exponents. So 1/6/3/8/4 to the 3/7 s to the 3/7 s to the 2/7. So again, looking at what I did, distributed this one, and then rewrote that without parentheses. The first thing I always want to do anytime I have a number going to a root is type it in. 16384 to the 3/7 is, oh, that's bad, is 64. So 16384 to the 3/7 is 64. And remember, whenever you have these two here, that's not multiplication because they're not separated by parentheses. This is addition. 3/7 and 2/7 both have a common denominator, so we add the top. It'll be s to the 5/7. And that's really all you're going to do. All right. There's a lot of different problems in your homework, but you're going to have to make sure you practice them and just kind of get through it. Now, this is the tough one, because in our general rules, you cannot put a third root with a seventh root. It's impossible. So in general, you would not be able to put these together. The good thing, though, is that because there are two different forms, you actually can put these two together and just watch and take notes on this. Because this turns into j to the 11/3. Remember, top number, bottom number, times j to the 5/7. Well, from what I remember, that turns into j to the 11/3 plus 5/7, right? Because you can add those two things together. I'm going to do that on paper because you need to see that sometimes just to make sure you remember. 21 on the bottom, 77 plus 15, which is 92 over 21. Let's just make sure. I'm terrible at this calculator sometimes. Yep, 92 over 21. So that is j to the 92 over 21. Now again, read your directions. Is that a radical? No, that's an exponent. So what they want us to do is take this and put it back into radical form. And there you go. Except I'm pretty sure that in the end they're also going to want you to simplify it. Although I think you might stop there. I'm not sure, so just check it out. If this works on your homework, great, but think about it. There's 21 fits into 92. Actually, we don't have that yet. If that messes you up, let me know. But like I said, I think that's as far as you really have to go because we haven't covered anything else. And there is a way to simplify it. So I'm thinking about my 6-weight class when I was talking about that. But let me know if that doesn't work, and I will talk you through what's going on and figure something out. So hopefully you can see the importance of power properties you've been learning. Just be sure to slow down and work out each step. Again, many of you who have flopped on the quiz from 7.1 through 7.3 did not have a grasp on the steps and what everything actually meant. Just remember, again, you have until next week to pretty much increase your grade. I think progress reports are going in pretty soon, so just make sure if you're caring about that and trying not to, stress me out with, all the questions about how can I get my grade higher. Well, the way you get your grade higher is perform on tests and quizzes. Although I'll still get the emails, that's going to be the answer I give you. So other than that, like I said, have a good day, and I will talk to you all later. Good luck.